So let me explain through this presentation, short presentations, how we want to leverage StreamSet to show how easy it is to replicate dataset from SAP HANA instance to S3. What we want to show right here is how StreamSet can easily replicate the initial load and the incremental load, and combined with the UI dedicated for business user, we will see how easy it is to let them select what they expect in terms of database, schema, and for this selected given schema, how they can easily select a bunch of tables and start the appropriate StreamSet workflow. So for this demo purpose, here is an overview of the overall architectures. So I provision a SAP HANA in the cloud, and I already created a demo database. And in terms of pipeline, I created an orchestration REST-based services in the control hub in StreamSet. And also, I only have two different pipelines. One dedicated for the initial load. So we are going to extract huge amount of data set from a selected set of tables, and we will run it in parallel and bulk load it into S3 first. And this S3 bucket I already created has been attached to an external stage in Snowflake. Why I use Snowflake here? Because I just want to show how easy it is to see the impact once we were going to perform some CRUD operation in SAP HANA later on, and in another word, how StreamSet can easily perform the incremental phase. So let's get started. So here is the overview of the SAP HANA database. As you can see, so I create this run travel, and I have a bunch of tables right here. And I created this particular S3 bucket, which has been attached to my particular stage, external stage, sorry. So all this has been secured, and we will now jump to what we want to see. Here is a user interface I created quickly using an external third-party tool, which is a retool. And I have this first drop-down list that only fetch all the different schemas that are available in my SAP HANA database. So and for this particular S-Flight schema, I can select either the entire tables, or I can select a subset of tables. So let's start by selecting those two different tables. We had to specify whether it's the initial load or the incrementals. So let's assume that is the first time we start the replication for those two different tables. So we are going to select the initial load in that case, and we are going to start the workflow. So, and now this has been returned back from the controller, from StreamSet. So it tells me that here is a following job ID, and it will be activated. So if I can take a look, take a refresh, we might see two different instances suffixed by the selected tables that the business user selected. And we can't, obviously, so already it might not have a huge amount of data set in it, but we can also see the value of StreamSet right here, in particular the modern UI for monitoring. So we can track the throughput, some operational statistic that occur. If there is some error as well, we can see difference. And as you can see, we can also activate and track events generated by the origins in order to stop the pipeline, for example, which is what we expect when we run the initial process. So now we are happy, so we see that the initial load has been completed. We can double check it from here. So the change, if I refresh calling the REST API of the control hub, I can see that now it has been deactivated. So we can now switch to the second step, which is how we can now, we keep those two different tables selected, but we are going to switch to the incremental phase now. So let's start the two brand new job. So now they have been returned as activated, as green, so everything looks great. We can double check again, selecting the job instance. As you can see, there is two new jobs that has been generated for one the selected airport and SAP plane. We might see, if I refresh my destination schema, we might see somewhere some new tables. I have the S airport right here that has been populated thanks to the init process. And we have the SAP plane. I don't know how to pronounce that one. And in S3, here is a list of flat files that has been generated. I can apply some CRUD operation in my SAP HANA database, okay, and see the impact in the Snowflake destination. So for that purpose, so let's try to update an existing record, for example, that particular one, and we are going to remove the or truncate the airport name for this particular one. We also, as you can see, there is no airport which ID start by ZZZ. That means that we are going to create a brand new record with this particular ID. And for another one, which is STB, so Saint-Brieuc Airport, I will delete this one. So let's run this particular, no, let's delete that one. Let's insert this brand new record that doesn't exist so far. And now I have truncated the full names and just keep the first word in it. So let's update it. So since we perform this three brand new event, we can also check into my what is the instance name, the airport ones. So we can monitor and make sure that as three brand new record has gone through each individual stage before reaching the destination, which is our case Snowflake. And as in the configuration, I just specify, just to show you, that I'm using behind the scene an S3 bucket before performing a merge operations. We just need to specify also some nice features. The data drift, if you want to also to track some change that can and may occur at the schema level, at the structure level within your SAP HANA instance. And so StreamSet can easily track those changes and replicate dynamically into the Snowflake destinations, which is this is the reason why we activate the data drift. So in another word, it will perform, it will split the overall process into two actions. One, it will perform an alter table in that case before the merge operations. Okay. So now, since those record has been, we can double check and refresh the destinations and see for these airport tables. So we might see that there is a brand new record in it, a new airport. This has been populated successfully. Let's check if for this particular ID the name has been truncated successfully, which is the case, and we might now have no more record which ID is equal to STB. So there is all the different CRUD events from SAP has been detected and replicated in the destination accordingly. So I hope you enjoyed this short demo and look forward to see if there is any willing to investigate deeper in scripts.